Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. It is release day, at least that's when this is being recorded. I couldn't resist doing a commentary on release day, and I figured I would start things off by basically addressing the number one newbie concern, which is how to stop a zerg rush, or a six pool is what we call it. The reason we call it that is because essentially you are building it on 6 supply. You start off with 6 drones, you build your spawning pool at 6 drones, so essentially you're building it as quickly as possible and sending out a ton of zerglings as fast as you can get that many attack units in the game, essentially. So, truth be told, I expect a lot of webcomics to be out where they're like, oh, Starcraft 2 exactly like Starcraft 1, Zerg Rush, ha 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 ha, or KKKKK, depending. And probably, if the past is like the future, 95% of you are playing Terran because you thought it was awesome in single player, and 4% of you are probably playing Zerg and Zerg rushing. The other 1% would be actual StarCraft players who played in the past. So hopefully this helps a lot of you guys out. If not, whatever. Hopefully you enjoyed it nevertheless. Bottom left-hand corner we have Slasher in orange. He's going to be illustrating the Zerg rush. Upper right-hand corner we have LZ Gamer. It's the blue Terran. He's going to be illustrating how to defend against the Zerg rush as Terran once again, which I assume is going to be the most popular race right off the bat. So first things first, general newbie tips. Number 1, scout, scout, scout. Scout. Use SCVs to scout. That is the number one thing that hurts beginning players. And that is the number one way to defend against any sort of cheese, or basically an all-in strategy like this. So it's an all-in strategy because yes, you build a lot of zerglings right off the bat, but if you don't win with those initial 6 or 8 zerglings, you are essentially done for. Your economy is way too far behind. The defend against the 6 pool, already LZ Gamer has done the first thing you needed to do, which is build that supply depot right against this wall. So there's not a StarCraft 2 map in existence where you don't have a choke like this that you can easily block off. If there's not, if it's a little harder to defend, usually there's a big distance or it's a 4-player map or something like that. And right there, supply depot in place. Zerglings cannot get through that gap right there. And LZ Gamer, as you can see, is getting in place to put down a barracks right there on, he did that at 9 supply, he's doing this on 12 supply. That is sealed right there too. Zerglings can't sneak through. And right as he started that barracks, he's also going to send out an SCV, and that is to scout. And already the spawning pool is finished. That shows you how quickly the zerglings are already going to be popping out. So a couple zerglings already building, they're going to be heading across the map, and LZ Gamer is going to be entering his opponent's base with his scout just as they're coming at him. So he's going to be, he's not going to have a lot of time to react, but he should be able to react fairly easily. He is LZ Gamer, very good player. So right there, the zergling's running past, and the first thing he does is he pulls a single SCV off the line. He's going to come down and he's going to build a supply depot. And what that does is that completes the wall. Usually he might wait a little bit on that, but right here, that completes the wall. The zerglings cannot get past this. Now granted, there's no attack units, unless that's lowered, of course. Now granted, he doesn't have any attack units to stop this right now, but at least the zerglings aren't popping through. So Slasher's stuck on this side of the wall. In the meantime, the Marine is going to be produced, and Slasher actually pulled off, which is a mistake, and LZ Gamer is going to bring down a couple more SCVs to make sure that this stays up. He's going to put them on auto repair and just make sure that supply depot doesn't get knocked down. Now, at this stage, game's over. LZ Gamer will win. Reason for that is if you look at the income tab, LZ Gamer is getting 500 minerals compared to the 200 mineral income on the opposite end of Slasher. He's in excellent position. No matter how many zerglings come at him at this stage, the Marines will easily be able to defend it. Let's assume that Slasher decided to back off and try to defend, or try to build some more zerglings up and go for a larger attack. LZ Gamer can still build SCVs, build more barracks, build more Marines, and just come out and slaughter them all. Very easy win, very easy. There you go, that's how you defend it. Use your walls, things like that. You can also do this if you opened up with a Rex, if you're going to go for some sort of Reaper opening, which I'll talk about sometime in the deep future. If you have any other sort of questions, I have other games in here that show you kind of more long-term strategies. But really fast, let me show you some other cheese that might be out there. Specifically how to defend if you're Protoss, and I don't know, in the 0.5% that started off Protoss. So now we're going to have a 6 pool versus Protoss, and LZ Gamer is going to be the Zerg this time. He's starting the bottom left-hand corner. Once again on Steps of War. Upper right-hand corner we have Shu, special thanks to him. Speed things up a little bit. So with Protoss it's a little bit trickier because Zealots come out a little bit later, and if you do a perfect seal on your front door, it's a lot more difficult to get units out later because obviously you don't have supply depots to raise and things like that. Now, Shu's taking a little bit of a risk here. He's placing this pylon towards the front. Sometimes you want to place it back here and kind of go with a 2-gate sort of blockade, but essentially he's going to try the exact same tactic as the Terran to defend this, but what he's going to do is he's going to leave a little bit of a choke, just a little bit of an opening. Now the reason for that is Zealots are stronger than Zerglings, but one Zealot cannot beat 6 Zerglings. But one Zealot can beat 2 Zerglings, or one Zergling like 6 at a time. They can beat a lot of Zerglings in that regard. So you can see he's just leaving this little teeny gap right here, so that if the Zerglings try to engage, they can only attack basically 2 at a time, and he's going to continue with his scouting pattern. Meantime, LZ Gamer actually placed his spawning pool in a little bit more of a hidden location to try to execute this, so Shu might have been fooled had he sent an earlier scout and, oh, where's the spawning pool? Don't see it. Maybe there's an expansion, something like that. But he would definitely see the Zerglings coming at him in not too long. He's going to come up with his probe. Zerglings are going to start heading towards his base. Meantime, what he should start doing is exactly, well, it doesn't look like he's doing, is start harassing with that probe, because the economy's already hurt. Looks like a little bit of a mistake here. He's actually putting a pylon here on the front door to complete the seal, so he's going to need to actually rally that Zealot to the front. He did do something very intelligent, which is pull some probes off the line if he wanted to try to defend with that. Probes are pretty decent attack units versus Zerglings kind of in groups or one-on-one and things like that. Believe it or not, they're actually pretty hardy. Zerglings are not that strong. Not that strong. You can just build them, a lot of them, and you can build them in mass numbers. They're just cheap, small, and fast. That's what it comes down to. But as far as sturdy, not so much. So a mistake here, but Shu's still going to easily be able to recover it. He's actually bringing some probes down to try to help defend, because I mean that is a lot of Zerglings. And with those probes and that Zealot, he should be easily able to take care of these Zerglings. Once again, screwed up a little bit and let those Zerglings in a little bit too fast. But between the probes, you can see how quickly those probes melt through those Zerglings. Even more Zerglings down here, and he's easily able to defend. And once again, we're going to take a look at the income tab, and even pulling those probes off the line, 500 versus 200. LZ Gamer's way behind economically, and Shu has successfully defended this. He's so far economically ahead, he should be able to finish this off no problem. So LZ Gamer has no choice but to GG. Now, the other thing you may face as Terran is occasionally you will run into a Protoss. You won't only be playing Terran and Zerg. You might run into a guy who decided to random and doesn't know what he's doing. And usually the ultimate Protoss cheese strategy is a 2-gate. Now, if it's a 2-gate proxy, and proxy means proximity kind of close towards someone's base, if it's kind of out in the field, like hidden someplace, then all you need to do is just maintain your front